Let's go!
I was checking out the scouting report, and I don't see nothing but bums. You and your whole entire world know that I am the one. You and your squad ain't got nothing for me.
Hey.
Your organization is looking stressed.
What?
And now that you haters is running from me, I know that you see that I'm highly blessed.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Yeah, we live with your boy Coach G. Yeah, we live with your boy Monty.
You and your squad ain't got nothing for me. Your organization is looking stressed. And now that you haters.
Episode 28, we're here. We're back. Another edition. You know how we do. Welcome into the Rewind. Brought to you by Global Sports Entertainment 3. The co-host, the man, the myth, the legend, the captain of this ship. I'm not sure how tonight's episode is going to go. I'm going to call it just how I see it. We are in the boardroom, so office episode edition, as you've seen in the past. But it's going to be a great episode tonight. We're blessed by a few folks that are returning and one that's making his first annual. Hopefully, it'll probably be his last because I'm already tired of him from the pre-production show meetings and stuff. So we'll see how tonight goes. But just want to do some house cleaning as we always do before I introduce my co-host, Bryant, who his job's on the line, too, between this week and next week. His job's definitely on the line. I heard he had some other job offers from some other competitors. He's more than welcome to walk. We will hold this thing down with or without him. So I want to give a special shout out to my dog, Chris, 1990 Studios, for all the work they do for us each and every week. 28 episodes, which means 28 weeks straight. I feel like I'm Eric Bischoff against Monday Night Raw with Vince McMahon. I think it was 64 weeks they were number one, but that's besides the point. But just want to give a quick special shout out and a quick congratulations to two of my dogs, two of my brothers. One, my dog, Frank, who Bachelor was this past weekend in Tennessee. Great time. Nashville owes me nothing. Frank's getting married in September in North Carolina with his beautiful soon-to-be wife, Katie, Miss Katie. Frank did the damn thing, planned the whole thing out. Shout out to his brother, Nick, who's his twin. Shout out to everybody that was there for a part of that amazing weekend. My liver is still recovering, but we are good. We are breathing, and it was definitely a great time. Mcclain didn't want to come see me. Damn it. And I'm upset about that, but that's all right. Also want to give a special shout out to my pre-K, first grade, elementary school, high school brother, classmate, whatever, Justino on his new wedding, newlyweds. This past Sunday, had the opportunity to get off a plane, get home, take a nap, wake up, get dressed, shower, then get dressed to head over to his wedding with him and his new beautiful wife, Mr. and Mrs. George. Congratulations. Great time to catch up and reunite with my Hawkins Street brothers from elementary school days as well as my East Side days there. So always good to break bread together. And people say, like, oh, my God, like, how are you still friends with your people you went to school with? I'm like, it's just the brotherhood, just the relationships we have cultivated over the years. We stay connected. We have our own group chats. We push each other. We motivate each other. We're always there to support one another with whatever we have going on. I'm still mad from Steven and Jimmy. They didn't invite me to their wedding, but that's okay because, I'm the only one out the group that's yet to be married. No time soon, by the way. But when that time does come, I have two people that probably won't make the invitation list, and that's okay. That's fine. But without further ado, I want to get my dog on. Chicago's finest, Temple alum, over 400 career wins in his co-head coaching career. He coached both football and basketball, coached them both. 4-time state champion. He's also in the Newark Hall of Fame. My co-host, the man whose job's on the line this week and next week. BG Brian Garvin. Bryant, what's good, brother? Good to see you, man.
Look,
good to see you, man.
Hey, that's what happens. That's what happens when your ass is on here late because we supposed to start a long time ago. It looks like you in a damn interrogation room.
I am.
You look like you get ready.
I'm being questioned.
You say one more bad thing, your ass going to jail.
Hey, look, I've experienced that once in my life. I don't want to go back down that road again. All right.
Well, you better pick a better room next time because them blinds are not working.
Hey, look, we're going to do what we do. I could have moved it over to the television screen tonight, but I didn't have time to set all that stuff up. But we're going to make it do it. Rather we in the parking lot, rather be in the bedroom, rather be in the boardroom, rather be in your room. It don't matter. It don't matter. You saw a few weeks ago I was in the hotel room, right?
Yeah. That's I get it.
It didn't stop nothing. We here. We here. So, Brian, for the people out there that's going to be watching this episode to, I found out some breaking news tonight. I didn't even need like Adam Schefter or ESPN to tell me. Like, I just heard through the grapevine that, you're listening to other competitors. You're departing from the Rewind. It's fine if you are. Trust me, you're good. I already got
said anything about departing from the freaking Rewind.
Okay.
All it is just possibly going back to coaching. Going back to coaching, which will help the Rewind. Matter of fact, if you understand, by going back to coaching, I'm getting that coaching itch again, and being inside the educational system for a couple of days out of the week and coach full time. Yeah, it's piqued my interest, and plus, then I can exploit the athletes even more on the Rewind. So it makes sense to bring in more athletes and get this thing really going on a national platform, which is headed that way anyway.
Yes.
So. Let's make it do what it do. It's going to keep rolling.
We have a special public service announcement to make. Bryant and myself, I'm going to say it because I know Bryant probably doesn't want to say it, and that's okay. It's fine. I am the captain of the ship, so it's my job to navigate this ship to all the avenues and speed bumps and bumps that, we go through because, like some other folks or some other platforms that I was a part of or whatever, we come together as one. We communicate effectively. We don't let outside noise really affect what's going on inside our backyard. But we have 2 more episodes. This is episode 28. We'll have one more next week, which will be episode 29. Brian and myself will be together, stationed in his house. The East Wing is what I call it, for episode 29, which will be our final episode before we take off. We are going hunting. We are going fishing. The whole 9. We're going on a hiatus to return for college football week 1 as well as NFL and maybe preseason week 3 or maybe NFL week 1, but either end of August or early September, ideally, which would be the date to return. We'll let you guys know. So all of August, you have the opportunity to miss me, who will be on the cover of GQ, Sexiest Man Alive, speaking it into existence at some point before I die, and also Bryant, my co-host. So Bryant, this week and next week, and we go away, man. Why do you we're here. We're almost there. How do you feel? Well needed, though. Well needed.
Hey, look, it's going to happen quite a bit if I want. I'm going back to college coaching or high school coaching.
You'll be
either
away.
one. Hey, I'll be away. But like I said before, as this thing grows, you will wind up being wherever I go and other places. So it makes sense, and I can come on Wednesdays, do my thing, and and we got a lot to talk about today. Man, I just want to put this real quick because he's not on our particular script, but Seton Hall wound up getting the big fella from Plainfield High School.
Plainfield, I saw that.
Yeah, man. That was an impressive get. We talked about that, and they said that they didn't recruit any high school players, and all of a sudden, you got the one high school player that they wanted and they really needed, and that's a major get for those guys. And my hat goes off to them. I'm excited about Seton Hall now.
Absolutely. Congratulations to Coach Lowry, Coach Sheen, and the staff on an amazing recruit. I mean, he's coming in for probably one of the first high school kids that we've seen actually get on that type of caliber, get recruited, and then obviously get accepted to go on a full ride to a school, because 9 times out of 10, what today's world is all NIL and the portal, which is on fire still right now as we speak today. So big fire for New Jersey. Kid stays home, local town, stays home from Plainfield. It's going to Seton Hall to play hopefully 4 years there. If not, hopefully 2, 3. We'll see what happens. But, I mean, the kid's athletic. He can play. He can block shots. He can run. He protects the rim. He can score. He has a great back-to-the-basket game. I mean, what a steal for Seton Hall. I mean, Coach Lowry, hats off to you, brother. We still need our tickets for when Villanova comes to town, for other reasons, But that's a good find, Bryant. Good find.
Yeah, man, that's a major find for those guys. I'm happy he didn't go to Villanova. Sorry, Randy. But you got somebody there that I just don't get along with. So, Hey, let's go Hall.
Let's go Hall. Well, let's go blue. But for sake of Jersey, let's go Hall, because we don't root for that team in New Brunswick. We don't root for them. They suck. They suck. We don't root for them. No problem. You ready to get this thing started? You ready?
Let's get it going. Let's get it going.
All right, we got 2 returning guests coming on. This person in particular is coming back for another edition. He already knows what time it is, so I don't have to give him a reminder. I don't have to do no house cleaning rules. He knows what is expected of him when he comes on this platform. Now, we have a lot of things to talk about later on tonight's show, which will bring up when that time comes. But let's get him on. Let's bring him in. New York's finest, New York's own, Arizona, holding it down in the AZ. Knicks fan, Giant fan. Really don't know what to say about his Giants. Russell Wilson's going to be the starting quarterback, but we'll see what happens. Oh, shout out to Rachel. Rachel, who is Bryant's former Temple alum's sister. She was actually at the Giants training camp day one. She sent me over some pictures, and she sent me a selfie. I saw a selfie she sent me with her and Russell Wilson. You know, people say I look like Russell Wilson, Bryant. Safe to say, right? Kind of a little bit. Maybe I've had a beard. I mean, I am looking for my Sierra. You know, but I got to have Russell Wilson's payroll in order to obtain that. But, you know, we speak things to existence. We'll get there, right? No? Yeah? Yeah. Get him in here. John Copeland Jr. making his return to the Rewind. Chris will bring that up later on. Don't even put that on the screen right now. Just pull up the pictures of us. But John's making his return. Episode 28. Who's that guy right there? I don't know. 3 sexy black men. I tell you that. That night right there is going down in the archives forever.
That was
forever.
We had a time for sure.
We did. John, what's good, brother? Welcome back. Episode 28. You're starting to get more comfortable with this thing. You know, I like that. You know, you have improved. You're improving. How are you?
I'm improving. I appreciate that.
Yes. How are you, brother? Good to see you, man. Welcome back.
I'm good, you know, out here doing my thing, doing what I got to do. So we good.
We good.
I had to come on here and give you a hard time. So that was the main reason me coming.
So far you failed. All right, but keep trying.
You mentioned the Russell Wilson thing. The only thing right now you got with the Wilson thing is y'all both short. Let's stick to that.
John, he's shorter.
Yeah,
Monty's shorter.
That part.
Yeah. If anybody need to put on some damn heels, it's him.
Bryant, you say heels?
You saw the episode of Seinfeld. You could put some lifts in your shoes. You'd be all right.
You know what, Bryant? I would say something that I discovered in Texas, but I'm gonna keep my mouth shut on the Rewind. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. Heels, right? Heels, right? No problem. I love you. I love you dearly. I'm gonna keep my mouth. Tonight may not ever be the same. I'm just saying. It may not ever be the same.
But this ain't Texas. Woo!
Oh man, this she's making her return again. My podcast partner in crime. We've done a lot of great work together over the years, from the NCAA tournament to bracket breakdown to NFL, WNBA. I went on her platform. She's came on mine. She's always been an inspiring person to talk to, always gives me wisdom, tells me I'm built for this. I know that, but sometimes we all need to hear it. You know, I mean, we all need that confidence to do what we do. But she's coming on. She ain't playing, man. I heard y'all had a great pre-show, pre-meeting production, and you know she's all fired up, and she want me to get her name right, which I've been calling her the same thing since I met her for the last 5.5 years now. You know, Marisa. You know, I mean, you know, I had a ex-girlfriend named Carissa, but we ain't gonna talk about that tonight. So it kind of rhymes, right? But let's get her on. Let's get Marisa, my homegirl in Dallas, Texas, always doing the damn thing. Welcome back, episode 28. I'm sorry I put you in this. I'm sorry
I live for these intros. I live for these intros. But what's up to everybody in the Rewind, those that are watching and listening around the world? I'm so honored to be back here. The girl from Michigan is here in Dallas, Texas, aka the Inferno State, because it's
y'all not the Inferno State.
It's hot.
Inferno State.
It's the Inferno State.
You are not the Inferno State.
John, I'm gonna tell you something. All right, it's hot in Arizona, but Texas, that's different. That's.
Let me just explain something to you all. When you wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning or you're going to work at 5 o'clock in the morning, and your temperature gauge is reading 102, and it's dark outside, don't tell me about heat. Okay, don't.
It's like Arizona and Las Vegas or Nevada has got a contest going on.
I don't want to hear that. And then by the time it's 10 o'clock, it's 1:15.
Oh
so
no!
I don't want to hear about I don't want to hear about no inferno.
That's illegal.
I got to get my spirit right, because if this is hell, I ain't.
I went out there to come see you, and my boy had the nerve to have some sun visor in this thing, and it made it worse. I said, son, why do you have this in your windshield?
Oh my God.
Still, I said, it's not working.
It doesn't work. Listen, man, people drive around here with oven mitts on. Like, is that hot? So that's why when people be like, oh, it's hot, I'll be like, no, it's hot for you. You don't know what it means.
Yeah.
Let me show you what hot means. I know what hot means. That's why I got to get my spirit right. Because if this is the way it's going to be forever, I can't. No.
So John, 2 questions, right? Actually, 1 question, 2-part question. Would you rather A, continue to be in AZ with the heat and everything that's going on, or B, be on the East Coast and deal with NYC winter?
Oh, no, I'm taking the heat all day.
I know you would.
Good answer. Then it ain't hot.
I was the cold. Like, once you get below 50 degrees, I'm like, bro.
Wow. This state only celebrates 2 seasons, spring and inferno.
I love it. I love it. I can't wait to get there. I love it. I can breathe where Copeland is. I can't breathe in Houston, but I still love the heat. This cold is.
Yeah.
It's not it.
It's not it.
I love my peoples in Michigan. They hold it down for me. That's originally where I'm from, but no, I'll take the heat. I agree with John. I'll take the warmth all day long.
I came back to New York a couple of times when it was cold. I was like, yo, I don't even have clothes for this shit. Like, this is not working. I definitely did. I didn't have clothes. I didn't have no boots.
He had a hoodie with jeans on and sneakers. It's wintertime.
I was like, it's not working. No.
My grandma used to always tell me, boy, it's better to be cute and warm than cute and cold. John was definitely cute and cold.
And I was cute and cold. I was cute and fucking freezing. So I was
right. Look, make it plain.
I just want to get something perfectly clear, okay? Because this requires a solo shot, because I've had enough of this guy. All right, he hasn't came on yet, and he's already pissed me off. All right, listen, you have 2 returning folks here on the Rewind. They know what to do. They know what to expect. They bring their A game. This fellow here, he doesn't have, those type of G14 qualifications yet on the Rewind.
I'm about to take
those things are earned, not given. Those are earned, not given. I got one thing to say to this brother. Be careful, okay? We have the power to add and remove at any point throughout tonight's episode, okay? I don't have time for your antics, all right? You pissed me off before we even started. So you already strike 1. All right, on the Rewind, you only get 2 strikes.
I love it.
You only get 2 strikes. But I'm honored. I am happy. I am blessed. This brother has finally, 28 weeks, decided to bless us with his presence. He's a hard guy to get a hold of. You send him a text on Monday. He sends a text back on Thursday. You call him on Thursday evening. He called you back next Tuesday morning. I mean, I just don't know. Maybe because he's got an Android. I don't know. Team Apple all the way, because everybody on here has got an Apple. He's the only one with an Android. Lord. All right, that's also part of the problem. But let me get this brother in here, man, because I'm honored. I'm happy. I'm blessed to have him. John's familiar with him. Definitely. Marisa is okay with him. And Bryant
is okay with him, yes.
You just got to just accept what I call you tonight. That is just about it. That's just the way it goes.
You can call me Goddess. Thank you.
Goddess? Okay, Goddess. No problem. That ain't a problem. Goddess. I ain't even gonna say Marisa. I'm just gonna say Goddess. No problem.
That works.
I'm cool with that. This brother here is a seasoned education professional with over 20 years of progressive leadership and management experience in diverse educational environments, recognized for a passionate and proactive approach to fostering student success and staff development, adept at building strong collaborative relationships and establishing instant rapport with administrators, directors, staff, managers, parents, and students alike. Proven ability to lead with integrity, inspire teams, and drive institutional improvement through strategic planning and hands-on leadership. His brother's also a proud graduate of Tennessee State and esteemed HBCU, Bethel University, Strayer University, and is also a member of the Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. There you go. You like that, Mcclain? But welcome into his first episode appearance, and it damn sure may be his last. Tell you that right now. We want to welcome in Mcclain. Rekia Mcclain. What's good, brother?
Oh, everything is awesome. Everything is awesome. Congratulations to you and Bryant on this platform. I'm honored to be on you guys' platform. I just was sitting here listening to a lot of, what we call mojo, but hey, I'll take it. I would take it. I'm definitely honored. Again, like I told you before, and I'm going to put it here on record so it could be recorded. Bruh, this will never be the same. Your platform is not going to be the same after tonight. I'm just coming with my A game, as you say. We're going to have some good times and some shenanigans is about to happen. Some stories about to be revealed and some new things on the horizon.
All right, we are taking the over.
So, again, thank you for this opportunity to be on your platform so I could share and spread the love so everybody know what's going on around the world.
The uncut over. Let's go.
It took him 28 weeks to say that, but he finally said it. We're happy. I'm happy. Thank you.
We're here. We're here. There's no turning back. No turning back.
So just an FYI, what he means by the over, each episode prior in our pre-show meetings with our producer, Chris, we say over or under for the episode. We won't disclose the time because then that just gives it away. But tonight is definitely going to be over with hands down.
It won't be too much over because you know me and time.
Somebody else probably may not know what that means, but we do. We take pride in time on the rewind. We take pride, all right? Take pride. Right, Bryant?
Sure.
Oh my goodness.
There you go.
Sure.
All right, man. Look, y'all good? Y'all sure? Mcclain, be careful.
We're good. We're good.
Be careful. Absolutely. All right, let's get into it. We're getting to our first segment of the night, of course, brought to you by Global Sports Entertainment 3. May God be with us is all I can really say, honestly. May God be with us tonight as we embark on this journey. But an entertainment and news update, if you guys didn't know or aware, Malcolm Jamal Warner, born and raised in Jersey City, New Jersey, passed away on July 20th, a few days ago, on a family trip while in Costa Rica. Jamal was swimming with his 8-year-old daughter at the time. Jamal had drowned suddenly after getting caught by a rip current. He was just 54 years old. Man, our hearts and our prayers go out to his family, his friends, his loved ones, because I know for me, growing up, I should say, with my grandma, yes, I'm an old soul, as everyone knows, Bill Cosby and the Cosby Show was my thing, was our thing. I took pride in that. Rather it was dinner time, rather it was a rewatch, or rather it was an episode I probably saw 200 times. But guess what? I'm going to watch it 201 times. That's just the impact of the show. But, John, I'll start with you. You know, we talk about the impact of Malcolm, not, of course, from what he has done for the culture, from the TV film industry to the music industry. What are some things you remember most about Malcolm and who he was as a man, a father, and more importantly, an actor and a musician?
Yeah, this was a tough one. I got to know Malcolm. It wasn't like we were best friends or anything like that, but I got to know him as we literally grew up in the same space at the same time. And all of my interactions with him were always love. It was respect. He was just genuinely a good and humble dude. That's just who he was. And so his impact, I think, is immeasurable, because when the Cosby Show came on, especially for us as young Black men, he represented us. he represented the angst, the insecurities, all of the things that we were going through at that time, having parents with expectations and all of these things. And so he was a mirror for us to look at. And so as he grew, we grew. We grew through those same issues. We grew through the same thing, and we realized that we weren't alone. And for me, it was the second phase of Malcolm's life, I truly enjoyed, because he was a man, he grew as a poet, as a musician. He had grown to this entity, and he had really found his voice and found his space. So to lose him the way that we did, as tragically as we did, it hits me a little bit different. It's taken me a couple of days, and I'm still kind of dealing with the emotions of it and my feelings with it. But this is a huge loss for us. I read an article where it was saying like everybody was feeling like you lost a brother, or you lost a son, or you lost a relative. That is exactly what we did. Family is not always blood, and we lost somebody that we felt belonged to us, that truly represented us and the good in us. And so it was, it's been a rough couple of days. I'm not going to sit here and lie and act like it hasn't been. It's definitely been a rough couple of days. This was not something that we were expecting. Death you never expect, but like this, especially when it seems like he was coming into his own and he was walking into this space, it just seems like it was just like you're trying to figure out why, like really. But he represented everything that was good. He was always humble. It was always a kind word. It was always a hug. It was always laughter. Like when I genuinely tell you that he was one of the great dudes, he was one of those guys. And that's the memory that I'll always take, from this, from him.
Now, Rekia, I'm not as old as you. I'm twice less your age. But for you, what was your reaction when you heard the news of Malcolm's passing?
I'm gonna tell you, it kind of hit me because, like as John said, he was kind of considered like a brother. I didn't have an older brother. I had an older sister. So, and I have a younger brother, but watching the Cosby Show and growing up in that time, you just felt like that was your brother. It was your hangout partner. We've been about the same age. And so it was just the news when it came across. I was like, at first I thought, well, maybe it was like this joke because, of course, how sometimes people send out and they put out these celebrities, they say that they passed and this and that. But then as I was in there doing some little research, I was like, wait a minute, I'm getting too many other stories coming up with some reliable sources. So then it kind of just was sinking in. I was like, man, I literally watched this dude grow up on camera as I was sitting there watching this, the TV. But it just hits different, especially even if you don't know them personally. But if you see them week in and week out, and you see their growth and things. It just hits you different from just seeing somebody and saying, oh, well, I know them because they was on such and such. But when you're around the same age and you kind of was living the same lifestyle and you just kind of have this similarity, you just kind of feel that you are one. And so that's what it kind of felt like the day when I heard that. It was like one of those knots in your throat type of things, like, oh, my God, again, here we go. And it was just, seeing this guy, and doing the things that he has done outside of the realms of the Cosby Show, because of course, he was young when he was on there, but living in your truth and giving the world what they had, whether it was on screen or behind the screen, because he did a lot of things behind the screen that people probably don't know about. But man, I'm just telling you, I was just devastated and just so sorry for the loss. And, I'm praying for the cast family, I'm praying for his family, and just the world in general, because we literally saw this guy grow up on television.
Right in front of our eyes, as we shall say. Queen M. give us your perspective from it. I know, of course, John knows him a little personally than probably all of us here combined. Mcclain, but he's had an impact on each of our lives, no matter what point it was. But give me your takeaway from, of course, reading the news, or breaking news, I should say, with him drowning, of course, with his 8-year-old daughter present at the time. Rip Current came and took him, and the rest is pretty much he couldn't recover from it. So give me your perspective and your thoughts as once you heard the news as well.
I'm like Mcclain. I thought it was an unfortunate hoax because you know how so many of these social sites want to put a story out. They always want to be the first, but they don't want to be the one that's correct. And so when all of the news finally settled in of his passing, I did take a moment and it got me emotional. But then I thought about his career after the Cosby Show and what he did to evolve his career and what he got into producing. A lot of producing stuff that I didn't even know of. Several musical acts, musical artists. New Edition is one of them that comes to mind. Wrote, direct. He was a musician himself. Won a Grammy for his music, and just continued to evolve who Malcolm Jamal Warner was. And I hate saying was in the past tense, but he just left such a legacy with all of us. And I think the biggest legacy and the takeaway that I have is that he didn't have any scandal. And as a Black man that was on television, so many households, and a very popular show, we watched Theo Huxtable evolve and grow up and graduate high school and then go into a HBCU. And so that was the spotlight for HBCUs and an opportunity for so many Black men to see that they can make it in an HBCU, that they can make it wherever they want to put their mind to do. So they want to be a poet. They want to have their own business. They want to be successful, whether it be in entertainment or music and everything else. I think Malcolm Jamal Warner's Theo Huxtable brought that to a broader perspective for so many Black males that they can make it. You can, if you're in the hood, if you are in a horrible situation and you take a moment and just clear your mind for that 30 minutes and see that somebody like Theo Huxtable, who, yes, he did have a great upbringing, but as John said, he did go through the angst and he went through all the mishaps and the misfortunes and the heartbreak with relationships. We saw all that. So the beautiful thing of that is that it was so relatable in so many people's lives that they took pieces of that and turned it into, well, I can get out of my situation and go to a college or get a full ride scholarship, because I have seen so many stories that had evolved because of that show, that somebody was in whatever state that they were in, but ended up getting a full ride to an HBCU and then going on to graduate with honors and then getting into whatever that they graduated with. So that for me, it's just powerful that it was just more than just a comedy show, but there was a lot of gems and a lot of takeaways, especially for us Black people and brown skinned folk that, evolved from the Cosby Show. And then obviously from there, a different world. And so that whole genre from the 80s into the mid 90s was hope and doors opening for a lot of people of color. And so he left a mark. He left a positive mark for so many of us that watched that show and those that continue to talk about it. I don't know if the repeats are on, unfortunately, for a person of that cast and what had happened and transpired. I know a lot of the Cosby Show episodes were pulled because of that. But for us that was fortunate to see that Thursday nights, must-see TV, prime TV. Must-see TV. I mean, pretty much nobody was doing anything instead of being on there. And then the next day, wherever you are, you were talking about the episodes and, what Theo did, what Vanessa did, what Denise did, and Rudy and all of them. And that was, before you started anything, before you started school, before you started work, it was, catching up on last night's episode. So I'm thinking of his family, his daughter that he did, save from a Riptide Current. And, I'm just praying for his mother and all those that have loved him, and John, you being one of them. And may his memory truly be a blessing.
Absolutely. Bryant, I know Mama Garv had you watching it Thursday night, so give me your takeaway from, of course, a great actor, a great father, being taken away from us on this thing we call Earth or life or whatever the case may be. But what was what's going through your mind? Because I know for me, it's I'm young, so of course you guys got to watch the rise and then the evolution, and then of course the greatness of Theo or Malcolm, I should say. I just got to watch bits and pieces of it. But Brian, give me your takeaway.
One of the things that with me growing up, and I just didn't realize this was actually going on and playing inside my head. But when I used to watch the Cosby Show, I used to sit there and look at the house that they had, and there was something that I was looking at my situations where I was bouncing around from house to house, from the projects, and being in a house in a comfortable home, but not like the Huxtables in New York. And I was like, man, that's how it is to live in New York. I want to be in New York. So, seeing all those particular things with the Cosby Show and seeing how he was being raised, it kind of put a perspective with me of how I want to be when I get older. Fast forward it, when we go into Oklahoma and wound up, being at a junior college out there eventually, I saw a home that was similar to that in Miami, Oklahoma, which was the Waltons. And the Waltons is, everybody know, is what's the store for the Waltons? Walmart.
Yep.
When Walmart first opened in Arkansas, they built one in Miami, Oklahoma. So it was the second one. I wound up cleaning out the Waltons' backyard. I had no idea who they were because I was 19 years old at that time. So I saw their house and I kind of compared it to the Huxtables. And I said, look, this is the second time I've seen this type of house, and this is what I want. And I got to work my ass off, and they only pay me $40 to clean their yard. I said, it just can't be what it is. But fast forward, and I'm skipping a lot of different things in between it. I wound up, playing football, playing in college, yada, 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 going back and forth. I wound up coaching in college. And I didn't know, they talk about the three degrees of separation. I didn't know that I wound up coaching his cousin at American National College. His name is Micah Pierce, and that's his first cousin. And I just spoke to Micah when this first happened, and I was like, man, I had no idea, because Micah and Malcolm, they're basically almost the same, quiet, focused, tight young men, very driven, the whole type of thing. So now when he told me that, it made a lot of sense of how he was, because Micah is another one that never really got into trouble, never did anything. He was always positive, stayed focused, driven, the whole nine. So that's a family thing that they have going on over there, with those dynamics. And it was something that I sat back and I kind of pondered over the past 2 days. And I said, you know what, this was something that was integrated within the entire family of success. So, I gave him my condolences. My hat goes, but it really kind of set me back there a little bit. And I was like, man, you don't know the people that you meet and the relationships that you come up with, who they're connected to, and as well as myself. I have plenty of those connections within me. And I never talk about them. You would never know, because I never say anything about the famous people that I'm connected to. And and my thing is, I look at those guys as well, and that's why I stay hungry and driven. Even though I'm retired, I still want more. And I would probably work all the way until I'm like 90 years old, because I can't sit still. But at the end of the day, that was something that I was intrigued by. That circle that I went through to wind up coaching Malcolm Jamal Warner's cousin, Micah Pierce, and he's from Patterson, New Jersey. I think Jamal Warner is from Jersey City, and that connection there that happened, man, that was phenomenal to me. And my condolences go to their family, and they're going through some rough times with that. And being in Costa Rica myself, and being inside that current, it took me one time to feel that current, and I was on the edge, and I felt like I got hit from behind by Lester Hayes. It was that strong. I put 2 feet in the water, and I jumped right the hell on out. And I said I would never get back in that water again, because it will take you. That's 100%. I got experience with that one. It will take you out quick.
That's why, even if you know how to swim, got to be careful. But we want to give our prayers to Malcolm Jamal Warner. Prayers to his family as they go through a difficult time with the loss of an amazing man, amazing human being, a Black figure, powerful in the industry, as well as a great father who children who now have to mourn the loss without their father. And it'll be a tough road ahead, but I'm sure with the grace of God and, of course, their support system, it'll get better as the days get on. So quick prayers to that. WNBA All-Star Weekend Recap. Queen M, this is what you wanted. This is what you're going to get. 2025 WNBA All-Star Weekend was the second most watched, but down from ratings from 2024. Caitlin Clark did not play, if you didn't know, because of injury. Bryant, I'm sure you will explain why. Ratings from the All-Star game were down 36%. 2.19 million viewers watched this year's WNBA All-Star game. 3.4 million watched the year before. Friday's three-point contest, Liberty's own Sabrina Nusku won the second time in 3 years. Brian, who said was going to win a three-point contest last week? Who said Sabrina was going to win? Was that me? That was me. Thank you. Thank you very much. Didn't know if you want to do that. Also, her teammate, Natasha Cloud, took home the skills challenge. So 2 Liberty players taking home some trophies. But, Brian, I just want you to just give me my credit where credit is due, since you have a hard time of doing that these days, especially on this platform. But you'll get it someday. Someday it'll register. I give you your credit. Now, damn it, give me mine. All right? I said Sabrina was going to take it home.
I'm going to give you that credit. I'm going to give you that credit. I'm going to give it to you. You know, because at the end of the day, I wasn't the one that was really debating you about it. I was like, okay, that's fine.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it wasn't me.
All right, what weren't you? I'm sorry.
Yeah, see, I didn't debate you on that at all. I was like, okay, cool.
Good idea.
Yeah. Because when I know that I there's a possibility of me being wrong about something, I go like this. Oh, okay, because hey, it's just guessing. But at the end of the day, when I'm sure about something, I'm going to let your ass know.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was wrong. I did take Team Clark to win against Team Collier. And I only did that because I thought Caitlin would play, but then she didn't play. So things went downhill. Queen M, the Fisa Collier, scored a record 36 points in a 151-131 final. She also won the All-Star Game MVP and a bonus of $5,100. She officially broke the record on a three-point with an assist from Seattle Storm Skylar Diggins, who set her own WNBA All-Star record with her 12th assist on the same play. Diggins finished with a triple-double on 14 assists, 11 points, and 11 rebounds, the first ever triple-double game in a WNBA All-Star game in history. Team Collier's 151 points were also an all-star scoring record with 7 different players in double digits. Now, if you didn't know that the 4-point line was introduced to this year's WNBA All-Star game, which we knew why it was introduced because of one of Bryant's favorite players who he likes to watch, Caitlin Clark. But we know that Caitlin did not play in this year's All-Star game, which I am truly sad. Thank God she didn't participate in the three-point contest. Saved us a lot of trouble. But, Queen M, what was your takeaway from this year's All-Star game? I know from a competitive standpoint, people are a little bit mad because 151 points in a WNBA All-Star game sounds like the NBA when we think about the NBA All-Star game. But give me your quick reaction from past weekend's festivities with Sabrina taking home three-point contest, Natasha taking home skill challenge, and Team Collier and Nafisa, the best player in WNBA, taking home the victory, the MVP, and a $5,100 bonus.
I want to also add that Nneka Ogwumike, this was her 10th All-Star appearance, and she joins Allie Quigley and Diana Taurasi as the only 3 players that played in double-digit amount of NBA All-Star games. With that being said, I want to dedicate this moment right now to every naysayer, every chicken head, everyone that talks behind their little computer, every person that blasts on their little telephone, and every person that doesn't have their real profile picture up. Please listen to the sound of my voice. You watch women's sports. To every person that has naysayed and said that the women owe the NBA, that they don't deserve to be paid, they don't deserve a raise, they don't deserve any kind of shoe deal, everything else. You watch women's sports. To every single person that has gone after Angel Reese, after Asia Wilson, and every single Black female that is on the court of the 156 women that were selected to be on these respectable teams, you watch women's sports. Please read my t-shirt that says everyone watches women's sports. You comment about it, you say negative stuff about it, you watch women's sports. And guess what? Breaking news, you like it. You don't want to admit it, but you like it. You say the silliest things for clicks and likes, and you want people to comment so that you can get your little bitty 15 seconds of fame. But listen and listen close. yes, you watch women's sports and you like it. And yes, these women deserve to be paid. Now, are they going to make that NBA type money right now? No. Yes, everybody wants to throw out there quickly on their little social media platforms that the WNBA has lost $50 million. Yes, they have lost $50 million. You know why? Part of that is because they signed a horrible media deal that no longer exists. And now with a brand new media deal that's $200 million, they're not just going to be locally in your state if you have a WNBA team. When I was watching the Detroit Sparks back then, the Detroit Shock, I knew about that team. I knew about the Houston Comets, and I knew about the LA Sparks. I didn't know about the other teams that existed. Why? Because it was so local, and I knew about Tina Thompson. I knew about Cynthia Cooper. I knew about Lisa Leslie. I knew about Ruthie Bolton Holyfield. I knew about all of them because there was only those particular teams that played in the area where I lived at the time. But now we fast forward to 2025, and there's more opportunity for these women. We're not there yet because when we see the WNBA draft, we see the excitement, the bright lights, and everything else. But unfortunately, because there's not many spots and many opportunities for those that are drafted to stay on a team, unfortunately, cuts have to be made. But there is the investment from the WNBA, Condoleezza Rice, and Nike, and those that are going to be continually supporting the WNBA, such as Coach, who has now been a big supporter of the WNBA, to now give the opportunity for more teams to come, i.e. the Golden State Valkyries, who have been very successful and have a winning record that has put a lot of money into that city. Caitlin Clark, yes, she has been a headliner. She's been part of what is going on in the WNBA. And that is part of the reason why the ratings went down, is because she didn't play due to her injury. Bryant's favorite player. I know he was devastated. Yep. Prayer, sorrows. Yep. But part of the reason why that the ratings were up last year is because Caitlin Clark did play. She is part of the headliner. Yes, indeed. Let's just put that on the table. Let's just make the conversation more comfortable than it already is. So she is a brand. Asia Wilson is a brand. Angel Reese is a brand. These women that are out here, Nafisa Collier, and I'll put it right there on this show, she will be the MVP by the end of the season for the way that she is playing basketball. But please let me make this last point and make it abundantly clear, besides everybody watching women's sports. They deserve to be paid. Okay? Absolutely. Not so much of the All-Star break. She got $5,100. Because of Aflac and the three-point contest, Sabrina Ionescu scored $62,000 plus because of the fact, which is $62,575, which thank God for Aflac, because $60,000 of it came from them, and a mere $2,575 came from the WNBA. What did Sabrina do? Sabrina decided to split her winnings with an up and coming rookie by the name of Sonia Citron, who was also in the All-Star Skills Challenge.
What school she went to?
Who does that? And it takes the other half and puts it towards charity. Okay, right. This is the kind of example that we need to see more from the WNBA, and Kathy Engelbert, who needs to go more to the table with these ladies. They all know they're not going to be getting the perks and the benefits of an NBA player right now because they need to turn a profit. But you would be a new fool to think that this is not going towards the positive direction, and they're able to have more teams expand now in the next several years. And shout out again to the Detroit Shock coming back in the next couple of years, as well as Houston is getting a team by 2030. We're going to have 18 teams. The media contracts, like I said, is going to be more than just the Ion Network. It is going to be on Netflix. It is now on ESPN, and it's going to be on ABC, besides just the local areas that have the WNBA games that are coming on. So there is more opportunities. They're going to be happening for these women, and the WNBA draft is going to mean a whole lot more, because why? They can have an opportunity to try out for the team that they got drafted for and actually be able to stay on that team, or be able to be traded to a team to get an opportunity instead of just sitting at home and not doing anything. Oh, Or you can be like Liz Cambridge, who left the WNBA, went over to China, played for 3 months, and made a cool $1 million. These women deserve to be paid.
Absolutely.
Well, after that, tonight's episode 28, has been brought to you by Global Sports Entertainment 3. We are good. We are we can just sign off right now. Look,
I had a lot to say with that one, and she's absolutely correct. But there's one thing that the blame, and I keep saying it, over the years, is that I'm not even going to go to the WNBA because they only been around for 20-something odd years.
29.
Right. So it is the NCAA and what they have done with college girls women's basketball. They've done nothing. Nothing. I mean, especially with TV deals and marketing, they've done nothing. So that's why women's sports is so far behind, because they're financially greedy and making all that money off of the men's sports because it was easier to profit. So if you want to just go back and look into it, why am I upset about the brand of Caitlin Clark? This is why. Because you had all the opportunities to do the same thing decades ago with all the women that you missed out on decades ago to bring this to a point where now you can bring in a Caitlin Clark and even blow it up even more. But yet you missed out on too many from previous. But now you got to create a narrative on a player that is good, but now you're trying to make her out to being like Michael Jordan. I don't like that. I don't like the way they're coming off as saying that's what she is. And there are a lot of other players that are better. You should have started this years ago. And it's insulting to the players that are there now. I don't like the situation where the media has destroyed everything. And that's why the ratings drop, because now you put the emphasis on one player, and now the ratings drop by 10 million just because the one player didn't play because she can shoot logo threes. That's insulting to me for all the previous players that have played before her. So if you want to turn around and look at the blame, look at the media and what you've done in college basketball, which was a horrible job. The NCAA Final Four selections of when they come out, they advertise the men first. And then next thing you know, the women's come out, but nobody pays attention to it because you did a horrible job beforehand to bring up the narratives of saying, man, these girls can really play. And I talked to Monty a lot of times, and we're going to speak about this next week when I bring on one of the college female coaches. And I'm saying, look, there have been thousands of young ladies inside of Chicago that have dominated this game. And a lot of them have beaten boys in the game because I played with them in the park. They were tough as hell, but nobody knows anything about them because the poor job they did in college of marketing and advertising and doing this and doing that. They always focus on the men's sports. Hey, it's just my take on it, but it's just a horrible job. And the NCAA has too much goddamn control. It's got to alleviate that nonsense, men's and women's. It's disgusting. And I can say all this because I'm done playing. I really don't give a shit. But those guys, the good old boy network, that needs to be broken and need to spread that money throughout the NCAA, throughout these young ladies and these young men. Make sure that they get paid. Yada yada yada. And we gonna talk about this later on. And that's my take on it. But yeah, you're absolutely correct.
Do you remember? I was going to say, and just this last point that I have, and it's so good that you brought this up. Y'all remember this past season of Unrivaled that just passed? Yes. It was the one-on-one basketball and everything else, and the Nafisa Collier ended up winning that whole thing. Do you remember how much money she won? She won $300,000. $300,000. The person that she won against was, I want to say, Aaliyah Edwards. Aaliyah Edwards ended up making $100,000. Rekia Gumbawale, and I can't recall the other player that made it to the semifinals. They walked away with $50,000. Nafisa Collier at their post conference said, "I made more money in the 8 weeks of this tournament than I have ever made in a salary at the WNBA."
Right,
it's true.
377,000 people tuned in to the finals of Unrivaled between Nafisa Collier and Aaliyah Edwards. You cannot tell me that women's basketball and women's sports does not matter.
No, and I think the is that
understand now.
Let him speak right quick.
Go ahead, JC. Go ahead.
Go ahead, John. Real quick, John. Go ahead.
No, I think, or piggyback on what Brian said, he's absolutely right. NCAA and all these organizations have dropped the ball on women's sports. They're playing from behind the 8 ball because all of the money, especially when we were coming up and coming through there, was about football and basketball.
Mm-hmm.
About men's football and basketball. So women's sports got the leftovers of whatever it was, whether it be soccer, whether it be basketball, whether it be volleyball.
They were an afterthought.
Right, exactly. And now what you've gotten, especially as with social media and all of this expanded coverage, these sports, people realize that people watch these sports. Like she said, women, we watch women's sports. We watch volleyball. We watch soccer. We watch all of this stuff. But now they're realizing you can monetize this. And because of the fact that now it's like you can monetize it. But mind you, they've been monetizing men's sports for decades, for centuries. So this is are light years ahead of this. Now they're realizing that these women can make money, and they are making money. The thing is, like Marisa said, the WNBA, they got off lucky because they got off on the cheap. Like, that contract was horrible. So you can say, yes, they've lost a lot of money. That's because of the contract. But now when you're looking at the numbers, you're looking at the representation, you're looking at these things that are going on, these women make money. They generate income. So you should be paid accordingly. A woman for here should not have to go to another country to make a living because she's not making enough money here. Are you going to make NBA money? No. But making enough money because you're making these networks a shit ton of money, period. So yes, you should have a bigger part of that pie and a bigger piece of it, but they are playing from behind the 8 ball because of the fact that they've been an afterthought for years. And now they still want to keep their foot on their neck and be like, well, no, you guys aren't making money. You guys aren't doing this. Yeah, the fuck we are. We're not about to sign no contract like we did before where we're not making any. Come on, man. $5,100. Are you serious?
If you paid every single one of these 156 women that are playing currently in the WNBA, the average salary of $102,000, the WNBA cuts a check for $16 million. What are we doing? And some of these cities are unlivable for the wage that they're doing. Caitlin Clark has walked in with $78,000.
Exactly.
But she lives in Indiana, which is not so, the cost of living is not so high. It's average. But you got some of these players trying to survive that live in Los Angeles, New York, Dallas. Yeah. I mean, you got to look at this and people that are sitting there saying that, these women owe the NBA and all this other stuff are not thinking logically when it comes to cost of living in some of these cities. They're living out their dreams, but they're struggling to keep the lights on and food on the table and such because of the fact that it's so expensive where they live.
You can't get a closet in New York City for $78,000.
Hello?
Okay. Listen, and that's what I'm saying about this money. These are the things that have to be factored in. You have to where these women live, the cost of living, all of this stuff. And you telling a woman, hey, look, you come out of college, I'm gonna give you $50,000. Wait, what? I can be an executive secretary and make $1,000. So what are we doing here? And I'm putting my body on the line. I'm sacrificing this time. I'm doing all of this stuff and paid a pittance compared to everybody else. But meanwhile, y'all are making millions of dollars off our images, off of the brands, off of the sponsors, all of this stuff. And I'm not getting any of that. So yes, you know what? I stand with them like, yes, y'all need to stand 10 toes down to get exactly what it is y'all want because y'all deserve it. And that's just the bottom line.
Yeah, bottom line indeed. Go ahead, Mcclain. You want to add on something? Everyone else
I'm going to say this real quick, and and I'm on. Me, I'm always going to go outside the box with this, even though I know we're talking about the WNBA on it. But that statement that pay us what you owe us, that speaks volumes for a lot of people across the working world. You know what I mean? So just for that, I'm glad these ladies are taking a stand because they're due what is owed to them. Absolutely. But we take that statement. We're talking about educators. We're talking about law enforcement. We're talking about a lot of people. That statement resonates for a lot of occupations out there.
Absolutely.
Amen.
100%. Just a quick backstory for those that may not know what we're saying when we say, or when they say, pay us what you owe us, but we're breaking this down. Pay them what you owe them. The WNBA players opted out of a current CBA last October, setting an expiration date of October 31st. A work stoppage looms if the two sides can't come to an agreement before the start of next season. Of course, as Marisa called out Queen M. WNBA Commissioner Kathy responded by painting the conversation as very constructive, and also that she is optimistic a deal will get done. Now, the big point of all of this, which is getting ready to come down the pipe, is that the point of contention is, of course, the distribution of money in a league set that is reportedly $200 million, as Queen M said earlier, per year for its media rights, charging $250 million entry fee for each of the three up-and-coming expansion teams, with Detroit being one of them, Houston being second, and Philadelphia being the third. Now, Brian, that's a lot of money. John Mcclain, that is a lot of freaking money. $250 million entry fee? We hadn't even started with uniforms, front office executive roles, who's going to be the coach, players, expansion draft. $250 million entry fee. Now, Brian, I'll come to you and I'll finish with John before we transition. With, of course, everything that we're saying, it was a great job by, of course, Caitlin Clark, Nafisa Collier, Aja Wilson, Jackie Young, the leaders of the vocal leaders, I should say, of the WNBA, to use the platform on ESPN with over 2 million people watching to make those shirts, make a stand, of course, with getting paid for what they definitely do deserve. But you do with what you believe with all these ongoing negotiations between CBA and, of course, the WNBA commissioner. Do you see a deal getting done in the near future?
It does remain to be seen. We don't know. It's hard for me to say yes. It's hard for me to say no. It goes back to what I was saying previous. This deal will be easily, I can say yes, from what they did previous. Today, I think we are right here, right now, where we should have been 30, 40, 50 years ago. It's just sad. So now you are in 2025, 26, living in 1975, and you're getting paid like you're in 1975. So now you're asking two different organizations to come up with $250 million, and now the salary increases. You're increasing more teams. Now you need more money. We already in $37 trillion of debt. So overall, globally. So now you're asking for them to get paid, but yet where's the revenues come from? It's a shame what the media and the NCAA has done. You have kind of crippled the women's sports, and the men's sports is going through the fucking roof with these damn salaries. You got these rookies getting $56 million. They don't need that. You're destroying the absolute game. Balance your checkbook. Give the rookies their league minimums. Spread the wealth. Put it down. Bring that up. Shift the monies a little bit and create a freaking dynasty to where now you have this on both ends. Later on down the line, feed the monster and let both sides eat. It's just what it is, because you want to create more wealth that way instead of having leaning on one side and you're thinking that these girls can't play. These girls can fucking play. I play with them. They're tough as hell, and they will give you an elbow to the face if you don't think they won't. They will. But it's a shame how this is going on to where you have to guess and figure out if this contract is going to get done. This is 2025. I mean, these athletes, these young ladies, have spent time in and time out, countless hours, and I understand it because I've done it. They spend 15, 16 hours a day sitting there, developing in themselves, getting bigger, getting stronger, getting quicker, injuries, ACL tears, Achilles injuries, the whole nine, God forbid, but they're going through it just like the men. What's the problem? We got to eliminate this stuff. They got to give them their money. You don't have to give them millions of dollars, but you don't have to give these damn rookies $56 million. I don't believe in that. I believe in those guys, the Michael Jordan syndromes. You come in, you get the league minimum, you build it up, you win championships. Now you just feed the beast right up the front, and they don't have to do shit for the rest of their life. It's just backwards. They're all about entertainment now. They're not about playing hard anymore. And I said this before, Monty and everybody else. I don't watch the NBA because I think it's full of shit. I watch college basketball. I really do. I watch it from the start to finish. I watch many games that I freaking can, and I learn more from college basketball, and I learn even more from women's college basketball. It's just what it is. It's moved different. So, and they play the game the right way. The NBA and all the other stuff, that's garbage one-on-one. Everybody's playing 5 out and they shooting threes. You can't learn shit from that.
Yeah, indeed. John, another thing I wanted to piggyback on to give you the floor. We've seen the NBA and its players take the same similar stand in years past, especially with the death of George Floyd. We've seen players come out with Dr. Martin Luther King tributes for the games that were being broadcast on national television for Martin Luther King with MLK shirts. But with a page that WNBA just took out of the NBA's book with having its star players take that stance on a national platform that was being broadcast, of course, globally on ESPN with Pay Us What You Owe Us. What do you say to the players as well as the message of what it really means for those players that come out and did what they did with broadcasting the shirts of Pay Us What You Owe Us?
Listen, man, I sit there and I'll tell you that they need to stand 10 toes down on this. And the number you brought up this $100 million, right? You're talking $2 million for you to get a franchise in a city. You cannot say that there is no money. You cannot say that there's no money available to pay you, because these teams are paying an arm and a leg to even exist. And now with the way the TV revenue, and the NBA went through the same thing. And this is why when their CBA comes up, it's going to be very difficult as well. When you're making, NBA is looking at billions of dollars in TV deals, right? You can't tell the players there's no money, that nobody's making any money. That money is distributed across the whole league. So you can't say that. So the fact that these franchises have to pay $250 million to get in, don't tell me there's any money. And you can't tell these women that there's not any money. And what these women have done, especially now with social media, making these brands and then doing these things, is they've made themselves more visible. They've made the league more visible, which makes the league more money. So they're like, look, we're doing all of this stuff and we're not getting a piece of the pie. I got $5,100 for winning the MVP. Are you serious right now? Like, is that what we doing?
Before taxes.
Right.
Before taxes. How much of that $5,150 is she gonna get? You're looking at average, because she's in Minnesota, $2,800.
Exactly. Does that even sound logical that happens? And meanwhile, regardless of the fact that the ratings were down, they still made millions of dollars. Like they still, the NBA and all of them people still got paid. Sponsors were still churning out money. But this is what I get, and I'm supposed to be okay with that? No, man. Listen, I honestly, I pray that all of these women stand in solidarity. They stand 10 toes down on this, and they get exactly what there is no. There is no, we'll give you this to get that. No, everything that's on that freaking piece of paper, I want everything on there.
Absolutely.
And that's where they have to be. They have to stand united on that. Like, that is the only way that this is going to change. Because if you start getting fractions where people saying, well, we're getting this, but we're not getting that, but we can live with this, that's when the shit starts going sideways.
Yeah.
All have to be on the same page and saying, look, we're going to stand 10 toes down on this no matter what happens. And if we got to strike, then that's what we're going to do. But we're going to get what we want, because the owners and the league and everybody else is getting what they want. So you should be listening. You should be so intent on that and intentional that I get what we want here. And if it means that we're not going to play, then we're not going to play. But we're going to get it. And they deserve it. There's no ifs, buts about it.
Because how many of these WNBA players went on load management during the season? I'll wait.
Yeah, I'll wait. I'll wait.
They can't, because they can't afford it.
The NBA needs to take a page out of the WNBA book. I mean,
there it is. That's why they play hard. Like John said, that's why they'll take an elbow to the
every
face
night.
And all this other stuff.
Every single night.
They are playing their tails off.
you watched the Liberty and Fever game last night. Liberty were down in the second half, or started second half, third quarter. They won a 17-4 run. But look how they played to go on that run. I mean, yes, the style of play is different compared to the NBA, and I don't want to compare the two, but NBA is a trillion, soon to be $1 trillion in business. Let's just call it for what it is. Why can't Adam Silver and the executives in the NBA give the same what do we call it? Roads to success, revenue roads to success to the commissioner and to the WNBA team, because it's a two-way street. At least it should be. If we can ask WNBA players, hey, would you like to participate in the men's three-point contest this year for All-Star Weekend? But yet we can use that same avenue to say, hey, Commissioner Silver, how are there some things you can help us do to improve our league? Just got to make it make sense. It just ain't the math to say math compared to the salary that he's getting ready to make. I mean, 5,100. I just played my heart out. 36 points, WNBA All-Star record, kicked ass and take names. Amy tell me I get a 5,100 bonus check of like, hey, thanks for showing up, thanks for kicking ass to help this league, but to help this network, really, the network make all this money. I get like it pisses me off. But
and with a wonderful plastic little crystallized looking trophy while you sit there at the table and have these expensive 5-course meals, Mr. Silver, and have the crumbs fall onto the carpet for the WNBA players to take paper plates and try to catch the crumbs from the lucrative table. Them days need to end immediately.
How many years it took the WNBA to finally fly better? They're flying bare minimum for years. Years.
But they're saying that they're flying better because of Caitlin Clark.
She's played the part.
I'm going to say this because he said you're flying better. I forgot my man's show. You're flying better because of Caitlin Clark before you were going on the bus or whatever it may be. No, that is an embarrassment to even say that because it's your fault that they're not flying. They should have been flying 30 years ago, my man. And so, the media destroyed women's sports because of you. They don't get on here and say that they're flying because of Caitlin Clark. No, they're flying now because they're starting to look embarrassed to the fact that they're taking a friggin' bus. I even go back even one further. And Monty, you got me started on this. In the NCAA tournament, the men had a full-fledged weight room. But the women, they brought, you mean to tell me you brought little bitty weights for them to fucking work out?
Bruh.
And you gonna tell me this is in WNBA? Bullshit. It's that freaking, I didn't want to even go on here and say that nonsense, but you know what it is.
Go ahead, please.
You know what it is. And so I don't want to hear nothing else about Caitlin Clark and what she's doing for the league. They're full of shit. If you respected the women and their athletic ability and they bring in all this money in the NCAA, they would have had the same goddamn thing as the men. And as far as the women going there and having their pre-workouts and get ready to play that damn basketball game. It's a disservice. They should be ashamed of themselves, and I'm embarrassed for them because guess what? We're part of the media right now, but I'm not going to buy into that bullshit. I'm going to say it how it is, and that is extremely disrespectful, and I don't even want to hear no more else about Caitlin Clark and what she's done. You need to do it for everybody.
Well said, Bryant.
Saw it at the Olympics. You saw the discrepancy between the men's teams and women's teams. You saw the accommodation that the men's had.
I'll go there, John. Thank you.
And doing all that. And then you saw what the women were videotaping and showing you where they're sharing a room and they got freaking...
Oh, my God.
Oh, the damage control that they tried to do and say that it was their oversight?
It was bullshit. That's how these women have been treated for decades. So
right.
let's 100. This discrepancy has been here, and as far as these people will try to keep it there as long as they possibly can.
Yeah.
So yes, they should be ashamed of themselves, and of course they're going to try to hold on to this because it's like everything else. Everybody wants to hold on to the biggest piece of the pie. That's what they want to do. But these women have earned this money that they're asking for. They've earned not only the opportunity, they've earned the money, and they've earned to be treated with the same respect that men are treated that are playing the same sport and have the same accommodations and looked at in that same vein. And what And we see this on all levels, whether it's soccer, whether it's volleyball. We see all of this shit. There's a huge discrepancy when it comes to that. And the bottom line is it's money. You can sit there and say men make money or make all of the money. And listen, we get all of that. But there's also a reason that happens. That
Correct.
Because you realize that these women, they got something, but we're going to give them this shitty contract. And they're just going to be happy because they can stay here and they can play. Now that these women can make money, they're brands, they're able to push the narrative, they're able to get sponsors. Now all of a sudden, the golden goose has gotten even goldener, if that's a fuck. And they're like, oh, but you know what? We need to still keep chokehold on this shit because we're going to give you something just to appease you. But the bottom line is we still want the bigger piece of the pie. And that's why it's imperative that these women stand 10 toes down and look, we're not leaving this table until we get everything that we want. And when I say everything, all the things. And if they listen, we ain't playing. We'll figure it out.
We'll sit out.
Right.
We'll sit out. There was a lockout in the NBA.
That part.
There'll be a lockout in the WNBA. I want to say it, but I can't say it due to professionalism. But you know what I'm getting ready to say. F around and find out. F around and find out. But Mcclain, this is your first time here, right? And
Absolutely.
Right now you're doing good. So you may come back. You're doing good.
Bro, I don't want to turn it down right now, bro. But
however, I can't. What's getting ready to happen next. I can't promise you, as you like to say, promise you. I can't promise you what's getting ready to happen. I can't stop this man from what he's going to say. He has created his own little unique way with this segment and social media, and people like it. Some people hate it, but personally, we just don't care. Train keeps rolling. So all I got to say is, I hope you enjoy. You'll have an opportunity to piggyback off him because he has a tendency of going. What do you guys just say to me on Gentleman's Corner? Go left, right?
Go left. Yes,
go left. Same thing. He can easily go left.
This is going.
So he might to reel him in. So this week's edition is President Trump aiming to establish national standard for NIL and college athletics. Is this week's edition, episode 28 of Coach Gar's Hot Take.
Let's go, Coach.
President Trump, I told you before, and I'm trying to be as respectful as I can be, but I want to call him President Goofy because I asked him in the last segment to leave sports alone. You have enough to deal with these Epstein files. We already know what that is. So we have women's sports, and some of them are young. So you need to leave it alone. We don't pay them enough at this point. So why are you trying to negate the money that they deserve in college? Because now it's out of control. You let Nick Saban up here come in here and convince you so he can be the commissioner of your bullshit. These young men and these young women deserve what you guys stole over the past umpteen years, especially when I was a player. Give them their money. If coaches can jump around from place to place, the players can do it too. But I'm all for the restrictions of them moving around every year because it kind of destroyed the game. But don't fuck with their money. It's just what it is. Give them their just due. They're making these NCAA colleges billions and trillions of dollars year in and year out. And Saban, and I said it over and over again, he's a good coach, but he only became great when he started paying players.
Well,
before the NIL. If you look at his track record, look at it. He was 6-6, 6-6, 7-5, 9-2 at Michigan State.
Wow.
And he was 9-2 when he started paying players. And how did we know? Because we had a segment on there where one of my buddies that coaches at Elizabeth High School said what he said about him paying players. So at the end of the day, he figured it out, went to LSU because he couldn't win in the NFL. He failed because everybody get paid. And someone tried to make an excuse and sit there and say, only reason why he failed is because he couldn't have no control. Well, guess what? You control people with money. Everybody get paid. So he wasn't that good in the NFL. He went back to LSU because we know how they get down south. I'm all for it. But don't cut off the pie that everybody deserves, women and men. And that is my first take.
Child, cue the organ. Cue the organ. Hello?
Bro.
That is my take on that one.
So to piggyback, for those of you who may not know, according to the potential executive order, the employment status of college athletes should maximize the educational benefits and opportunities that universities can provide through athletes. While the order would not be able to grant protections to govern NIL, it could establish the rumored commission to ensure fairness and stability. Bullshit already. The NIL battle on Capitol Hill has been a lengthy debate that seemed to have no end in sight. After the House of Representatives and NCAA, a 5-year war, collegiate athletics was derailed and placed on a new track. The final destination continues to be pushed further and further away. Now, at the exact moment the rules and regulations will compromise President Trump's new order are still to be determined. Until then, the speculation will continue to spread about the future of college athletics as it continues to hang in the balance. Now, Mcclain, you would say that this is damn sure unfairly and a bunch of bullshit, because when we talk about NIL and officially what these players being paid for what they definitely do deserve, now does everyone have access to the same revenue of cash flow? No. Power Fives own that. Lower Division I schools, mid-Division I schools, they just will never be able to compete. However, that settlement that was established a few months ago with name, engine, likeness, of course, it included a $2.8 billion payout to former Division I athletes who were previously not allowed to be compensated with the NIL. Now, when you hear this, you have a guy like Nick Saban winning his all-time coach in college football history, being best friends and buddies, because if you remember, President Trump came to the University of Alabama to speak and was the commencement speaker for that graduation. God knows what he said, but I'm sure it was a standing ovation when he was done, because we know Alabama's a red state. So, Mcclain, what's your takeaway when you hear about the potential chaos of what's getting ready to happen if this executive order can be passed and if President Trump signs this thing to put into effect right away to take money and food off these student athletes' plates and out of these players' pockets?
What my take is, if he signs that executive order, the only thing that is going to take place is you taking money from the athletes and you lining their pockets with whoever his team will be. He's going to line their pockets with himself. I don't even know. You know what? At this point, I'm not even sure if he's going to even share the wealth. I think he's probably going to just line his pockets, because everything he seems to be doing at this point is making sure he's taking care of himself. That's just my take.
And his partners.
Yeah.
Well, okay. He may give them something, but I think at this point, when you are as we say, dibbling and dabbling in things that you really don't know about, that means that you're trying to make a grand investment for yourself, because you're not going to, bring somebody else in without knowing what you're actually doing, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. No, you're right. He's got Nick Saban in his ear. He knows a thing or two about college sports. And of course, and I'll say this, and I told Bryant this a few days ago, when Alabama started to lose, or were starting to lose in big games, including the college football playoff, including the SEC championship and the national championship, that the person that is responsible for part of the downfall, or actually the downfall of Nick Saban's college coaching career at Alabama, was no other than Kirby Smart. And I will die on that hill. Kirby Smart knew everything that Nick Saban did from a recruiting standpoint, how to run a program, the conversations he's had with players, the sponsorships that Nick Saban had that, of course, he knew he can get access to at Georgia, with car dealerships, knowing that I can put a player in a 2024 Scat Pack fully loaded and he's going to come sign me tomorrow because I'll guarantee him a first-round draft pick in the NFL. He took the same thing, put it into his own formula, applied it at Georgia, and now you've seen Georgia prior to the NIL be the number one team, number 2 team in the country, and was smacking Saban up left and right, and then smacked them up in the SEC championship game, then smacked them up in the college football final when they faced off for the national championship. And everybody thought that Saban fell off. No, he didn't fall off. Kirby Smart figured it out and applied it and dominated it and doubled it, and it kind of forced him out. But if you know Marisa, Queen M, Bryant, you know who put Nick Saban into retirement, right? You know who that was, right? Yeah.
It only took one person to figure out the cheat code, and Kirby Smart figured out the cheat code. He figured out the access to not play the video game the way it should be. He found a cheat code, advanced all the way past the levels that were supposed to be taken if you played the video game the regular way, and made it all the way to the final round. It did the TKO. And then all of a sudden now we see Nick Saban part of College Game Day on ESPN.
That's it. That's it. You know, it's a game that they play, and it's you know, I could go on for days talking about this nonsense, but let the players eat.
Yeah,
just let them eat.
Let them eat,
and let them eat good. Not just let them eat. Let them eat good.
That's right. That's right.
I can't help.
Let them eat good.
Yeah, I can't help that Kirby is sitting there taking his players too.
Yeah,
it's just what it is. It's not like Kirby is the better coach. Kirby's just doing what he did better.
Kirby and coach, don't sleep on him. His resume speaks for it.
Never said he couldn't coach, but he's just doing what Saban did better.
Better,
See,
100%.
I can sit there, right, and I've won many championships and all that other stuff, and I can sit there and say, you know, blah, blah, blah. I've won with good players, not great ones, but good, and I still won championships. I have yet to see any of these guys win with average players. I will respect a coach that can win with average players and make them absolutely outstanding, great players without cheating.
There you go.
There you go.
There it is.
Looking at this, let's call this what this is. This is bullshit. And what this is the powers that be wanting to grab back the power that they've lost.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
NCAA had power over these kids for forever.
Decades.
In regards to them being able to make money and make a living, and these people making money off of their likenesses and them filling them stadiums, all of this stuff. And so when the NIL comes along, now you lose that power because now some very savvy kids who are like, hey, I know my worth. So if you want me to come to this show, I'm going to make you $50-60 million. I get 5-10 of that. Like and so now what you're doing is, and we know how this is the game plan. If you know, and I'm talking about, you understand what I'm talking about. This is the game plan. Everything is a power grab. So this is power grab to take that power back from the kids. Look, you can make some money, but you're not going to make all of the money. Because make all of the money. That's what this is about. And understanding what's going on in this world, what's going on and seeing, like my man said, with Mr. Plump here and all of this bullshit. It's a power thing. It's with them. It's always been in their playbook that their thing is, we're going to grab whatever we can grab. We're going to hold on to it, and we're going to keep you from having that power. So now these kids' powers that they never thought these kids were going to have. And now all of a sudden it's a problem because these kids are making millions of dollars. And listen, even if for some reason you make $1 million of college, you don't do well in the pro, you still have money in the bank. And their whole was, we like, as long as you ain't got no money in the bank, you got to do what we want you to do. And what we do. Now all of a sudden,
Can you say that one more time? You said one more time?
Exactly. You got kids.
One more time.
$10-20 million already in the bank account.
Yeah.
So they like, hey, you can't control me because even if this shit don't work out, we gonna be all right over here.
Right.
Take that power away from these kids. So your thing is, we're gonna let y'all make a little bit of money, but no, y'all can't get the money that y'all making right now because y'all we seeing where this is going and we not liking it. So we need to take this shit away from y'all. And that's what this is all about. It is power and money. The playbook has not changed since the beginning of time. It's just on a different level.
Yep. This is how full of shit, excuse my language, that the NCAA is. Prior to NIL, you have a coach like Jim Harbaugh, well-respected coach in the NFL and NCAA, great career. He got in trouble for recruiting violation for buying a player
a hamburger,
a fucking cheeseburger, a cheeseburger. But yet, fast forward today, where a kid can come on a visit, where we know what's in that hotel room when he get there, versus him going to any dealership he wants to at Alabama of the world, where he can get any car he wants, and yet you know why Saban owns 8, 9, 10 car dealerships. Come on now, let's just call it for what it is. But I need to save my energy for this next segment. So, Chris, let's get into it. Rewind of the week. I'm pissed off. I'm fired up. Somebody's going to hate me tonight. Let's go. Now, listen. This week's edition of Rewind of the Week.
Oh, shit.
You heard him saying a man caught with his pants down?
Oh, shit.
Listen, if you flash back to last weekend, got a CEO out, having a good time, screwing around with the head of HR, his company. He's CEO, by the way. Remember this, CEO. He's man in charge. Yeah. Caught at a Coldplay concert in Foxborough, Gillette Stadium, home of where the Patriots play, on the big screen. Head of HR.
Kiss cam.
Cuddling, kissing. And then what the funny thing about it is, when he get on the damn big screen, the jackass decides to duck. It's too late. You don't think that there's not nobody that works for your company at this Coldplay concert? Now, I know Coldplay hasn't released any new music in the last 5 to 6 years. I have nothing to do with that. However, Andy Byron, CEO, you're a jackass. You got a wife, you got a few kids at home, and you decide to cheat on your wife with the head of HR? Her? Miss Kristen? She's ugly as hell. What are you doing?
Oh, wow. Wait, bro.
You making all this money. You making all this money. And you screw around with this? You are a $1 billion company. Your bank account probably speaks for that. And if you're going to screw with anybody in a workplace, which you shouldn't do, married man or married woman, don't do it. I don't condone it. But you screw around with this. And then on top of that, you take it to a Coldplay concert. If I'm going to screw around with somebody at work, outside of work hours, we ain't going to no Coldplay concert. We ain't sitting in no suite. We ain't sitting in no balcony. We going to go somewhere a little bit more private, where there's no cameras involved, where there's no – you thought by sitting up there at a Coldplay concert that your ass was going to have the possibility of being on the big screen, or a possibility of somebody that may know you, Andy? Are you fucking retarded? You might be. So if I'm your wife, Miss Byron, I might as well just take everything. Divorce, you might as well just write your resignation letter now. And Miss Kristen, you damn sure fired as head of HR, because your job is forget about it. But this is a prime example. Don't shit where you lay. You know who told me that? Brian Garvin, because he's seen it in the educational world. But just remember, here's a flashback. Nashville. I saw this lovely sign. I was outside one of the stores, and there was a lot of nice women walking by. Hello, how are you? Whatever. And one of the guys had this sign, man. I'm reading the sign. I said, what did it say? And it was like, if you're having a bad day, at least you didn't get caught cheating at a Coldplay concert. I said, give me that shit. Let me take a picture of that. Give me that here. And it's true. If you having a bad day, at least you didn't. Your wife or your husband didn't get caught cheating at a Coldplay concert. It just is what it is. Right. But now, you have 2 lives that'll never be the same, 2 families that'll never be the same, and you're on a public display for the entire world to see. So instead of Rewind of the Week, it should be called Jackass of the Week, and it should be Andy Byron, number 1 person right here, Jackass of the Week. But Mcclain, we always talk about, or formerly used to talk about on the Gentleman's Corner, about all the ships, right? The ships, right? What do you have to say for something like this, a married man screwing around with his head of HR at a Coldplay concert? Give me your perspective.
Well, first of all, you have to think about it like this. First, we know he's human. You know what I mean? Everybody make mistakes. But again, people have to realize when you get in a certain level, all eyes are on you. And if you're not ready to have all eyes on you, then you don't accept the position. Or get you another mindset that you can say, hey, I'm in this position. This is what I'm doing. This is what I have to do. Because I'm telling you, the higher you go, the more eyes that are on you. Now, he probably thought, well, let's just go to this concert. Let me just duck away, and all that, thinking that nothing's going to come of it. They was looking for him. There was prime time for them to put the eyes and the cameras on him. So you got to understand, the higher you go, the more eyes you're going to have on you. And you got to be ready and you got to be willing to accept that. That's just like the NBA players, the NFL players. Anybody of high caliber or status and positions, all eyes are on you. And you have to make sure that you walk in a different light. That's just what I say.
Yep. You know what? Check this out, right? So this just came out today. His wife is being held up in their $2.4 million mansion since her husband wanted to be a jackass to get caught at a Coldplay concert. She can't leave the house. You believe that? John, man, there are do's and don'ts and nevers. Cheat on your wife with the head of HR at a Coldplay concert? Now, if I'm going to screw around at a concert, let it be like Wu-Tang or Jay-Z or Nas or Beyonce.
Why does that have to be those type of concerts?
I'm going to risk it. Hey, look.
You are in a different caliber.
Mcclain.
You have to maneuver different.
Mcclain, are you listening? Understand this. If I'm going to risk it all, it ain't going to be at no Coldplay concert. I'm telling you right now.
I got you. I got you what you're saying on that part. But I'm just saying, bruh, why would you even risk it with a Beyonce concert? I'm just saying, why would you do it like that?
Hey, look, if I'm caught on the big screen, at least catch me singing like some Jay-Z lyrics and like something. Like, I mean, Coldplay, nothing against Coldplay. But you thought, first off, screwing around with your head of HR. If you look at Andy's wife and you look at her, she'd be like, what are you thinking? What do you like? His wife is a woman of your children, three beautiful children, and you screw around with this. I mean, if that's the case, we should have just got it on in an employee parking lot. You go your way, I go my way, and then I'll go to the Coldplay concert. But then you're gonna duck. The camera's on you. You're gonna duck. What are you hiding from? What are you hiding from?
He wasn't thinking, bro. He wasn't thinking.
Clearly, he wasn't.
You let the wrong head think for you.
Clearly. and then he reportedly he got caught in a $40,000 OnlyFans scandal that just came out today.
Oh wow! Well,
the bottom line of all of this mess is unfortunate that people behind all of this, the families that have been impacted, the children have been impacted, people that know them. It's unfortunate that they have to be the ones that got to figure out what their next steps are. And especially for their extended families. I mean, both of these families, Kristen's family, Andy's families, they have children. They have spouses or had or whatever the next pending process is. But think about them for a moment. I know people have made memes and people have said all different kinds of things and turned it into a joke. But at the end of the day, there are people that are hurting behind all of this because they decide to take their private situation and it ended up turning public at their expense. So with all of that being said, I know people were saying, oh my gosh, I hope his soon-to-be ex-wife Meg gets everything and all of that. But here's the thing. Yes, she can get all the money. She can get the house. She can get everything else. I just pray that her and then the former spouse, soon-to-be spouse of this lady, that they find a peace of mind for themselves. They get a great therapist because they have to continue on with their life. They have to continue on being a better parent. They have to continue being, loving themselves first before they go and do what they need to do to, like I said, being a parent, a friend, a son, a daughter, whatever they have to do. But a peace of mind and picking up the pieces is what that's more important. So it's unfortunate that this thing had to go public. And these two people are paying the consequence for it. The guy is no longer the CEO there of the company. They appointed someone 2 days ago. I don't know about this Kristen character. I'm sure that somebody else is now taken over at HR that is reliable and knows what human resources is, not, reaching out and touching another human for the resource, if you feel what I'm saying.
Right. Yeah. But again, people got to realize when you get in certain positions, and I know it's easier said than done, I understand that. But you have to realize when you are in a spotlight, you have to maneuver in a way that you have to look. Well, I'm put like this: you have to be one step ahead of the
You got to.
Mm-hmm. And if you're a black man in that position, you got to be 4 steps ahead. That's just what it is. But if there's one thing,
you being modest to saying 4.
I had to be. I mean, if we want to call, if you want to be 50 yards ahead, a touchdown ahead, you got to be up 3 scores to at least to breathe. But to bring it all back into perspective, if there's one thing that we all, as humans, here, episode 28, people that's going to be watching, if there's one thing we can take away from this incident right here, no matter where you at, cameras are everywhere.
That's right.
Everywhere.
If you out screwing around,
Big Brother's always watching.
This reminds me of a song that goes like this. It's called My Ding-a-Ling. and you know how that song go. My ding-a-ling, my ding-a-ling. I want to play with my ding-a-ling.
Oh my God.
It's messy. I'm just not sure.
This guy.
Messy. It's bad. Mcclain, man, is there anything that you would like to say in terms of advice to all the married men out there or married women that are thinking about screwing around with their partner or just even the thought of cheating on their partner? Do you have anything you can say from this? Because a lot to take away from this incident.
Bro, only thing I can say is, I'm of course I'm not married, but the only thing that I could say this, and I'm just being so honest, and I hope it don't, take it the wrong way. Just love yourself. Love yourself. Because you have to love yourself first in order to know that if you're about to step out here and you make the wrong decision,
there are consequences.
There are so many consequences, not for you, but for the family and everybody else that's involved. So just love yourself.
My ding-a-ling, my ding-a-ling.
Oh my God, stop it.
Love yourself. Plain and simple.
Jesus,
love yourself.
Very elementary. Love yourself. That's all.
Love yourself. Because if you don't love yourself,
right.
No one else gonna love you.
UGLY. You got.
But more importantly, if you play stupid games, chances are you're gonna win stupid prizes.
You're gonna get stupid prizes. Absolutely. Right.
Jergens.
Shut up, Bryant.
All right. Love yourself.
Love yourself.
Bryant, oh my God.
If you are looking for marriage or counseling advice, don't go to Bryant. Don't go to Bryant. Just he may have you divorced tomorrow morning. Just don't do it. It's this has been great, man. Episode 28. It's been a blessing. Mcclain, man, you're welcome anytime. You know that you're welcome anytime.
Man, look, I appreciate the invite. I'll just come on and I may say some stuff off the wall, but I promise you, it's all in love and all good intention, and hopefully something that I may say will resonate and help somebody. But I know it wasn't that type of conversation tonight. But eventually, maybe when I come back on this sports show, that I can come back and maybe give some more relatable things to talk about.
Yeah. You will. You will guarantee. While Brian's away coaching, you'll be the co-host for the night, and we can go through all the avenues and ships.
Well, you know what? I don't know. You know, if Brian's really thinking about it, I may be at the game, you know, with him, supporting him. So who knows?
It's heavy. It's on my mind. You know what I mean?
But on a serious note, Brian and I are going to have another type of conversation, so that we'll see, you know, what can transpire out of that. But you know, as you always say, stay tuned. Stay tuned, America. You never know.
Stay tuned, America. You never know. we just don't know. We just don't know. We're going to try and get John in here so we can ride this thing on out together as a family. But I'm not sure. See, we done talked about spouses and cheating and head of HR. I mean, we know he's got the big dog, the captain, Mrs. Copeland over there in AZ with him.
Shout out to Susan Copeland.
Shout out to Susan. I said, John, don't say nothing. We cut that camera off.
Give a shout out to my boo.
Yep. Shout out to Susan, who makes a damn good Susan punch. We're going to call it Susan punch.
What?
Limited edition.
But yeah, then we can get John back on here so we can give some closing remarks and some perspectives on some things for the future of what's about to come out and things of that nature.
What's getting ready to come. If not, we just gonna have to do it without him. So
hey, do what we gotta do. Absolutely.
It hurts. It hurts me because I put this together, you know, to give this moment, the segment, the leeway, the platform, the floor, the opportunity for him tonight.
Absolutely.
As soon as we start talking about cheating and
that phone overheated, the phone got hot on him.
Oh man, let's see if we can get him back quickly. If we can't, we just gonna be.
He might be joining us.
He must have an Android.
Oh no! Hold up, Brian. I'm rocking and rolling with this Android. Been with Android since been out.
Oh boy!
There you go. There he is. Is the internet working? Is it good? Internet messed up? Oh man! Only on the rewind you get bootleg and stuff like this happen. If we were anywhere else, this wouldn't happen. But we would have been good.
He may have to go outside on the deck.
Yeah, he might have to go out on the deck. He just might. We working with you, bro. We trying. You know, you going to take care of the bill in a minute for the night's episode. You keep pushing it. We're trying. Are you there? Is he with us? I know Chris is trying to do his magic on his end.
Yeah, I can't. That's what I'm saying. I can't see or hear.
There you go.
Oh, we hear you, bro.
We hear you. You making us look bad right now, though. I tell you that. Look.
No. There you go. He good.
He frozen.
Oh, okay.
Oh man.
Well, Monty,
we got to ride this out.
You might have to go ahead and ride it out.
So I will actually let's get into Floss and Moss. I'll finish it off and we'll go right on home. Chris, Floss and Moss. Let's go. I put this segment together for John, and it just ain't working.
That's all right.
I'm going to hold it down for him. Shit, Forrest Gump, shit happens. On this week's edition of Floss with Moss, we're going to talk about John Copeland's return to the camera, to the platform, to the media world. J. Cope Conversations, which will be coming out, debuting July 31st. 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time on John Copeland's Instagram, John Copeland Jr. 23. This was supposed to be about him and his return and the breakdown of the return and some things about the return. But Mcclain, if you may know an inside scoop, please share for the world to know about or hear.
Well, I mean, I don't know the inside scoop. I just know he's ready to get back in his element. He's ready to do his thing. And so I'm looking forward to seeing him do his thing. And so, hey, we will be tuning in on July the 31st. Yes. But I don't know anything outside of that. I just know that we're awesome. We're proud of him for doing his thing. And as well as I'm proud of you for doing your thing, bro. So, it's just one of the things. So Jay Copeland is coming back and he has some other adventures that he's about to embark on. So, just stay tuned.
Absolutely. And the beauty of July 31st, not also as a friend of mine's birthday, but it's also the day after the Rewind goes on hiatus and goes fishing. So, Bryant and I have a little bit of time on our hands. We still gonna be taking care of business as we always do.
Well, you don't have too much time, bro. You have something that you have obligation to do and take care of, and we'll talk about that at a later date. It won't be long. It won't take us long, but it's something that you got to finish up. So I put that out there.
Is it going to be 3 people or 4? I just need to know, because I need to know if it's 3 or 4, because I may have to put some stipulations into my NDA of what I will do and not do. I'm just saying. But July 30th will be the Rewind's final episode before we go fishing, which will be episode 29. And of course, what better way to debut our brother coming back into his own element after taking a break off, after, you had the 4 Musketeers, but how sometimes you have locker room issues, and, there's always that one that just wants to be head of the table and egos and things like that. But, hopefully we could do this thing and finish it the right way, but just wanted to congratulate and show some love to my big bro, John Copeland.
Absolutely.
To the platform, as well as him coming back into his own element and space. All right, John. And that's having conversations. Absolutely. So if this don't work this
congratulations,
time,
John.
Congratulations, brother. Congratulations. I wish your internet was working to make this happen. Does it work now? Are we good? Do we have you? Are you here? Earth to John, come in.
The frozen still light.
Earth to John.
It's something going on, but hey.
Hey, look, it is what it is. So, closing remarks, Marisa, my podcast partner. Give the folks out there where you can find you, where you can support you, because of course, football season right around the corner, as well as the NCAA football season.
Yes,
and you will be back, guaranteed. WNBA playoffs.
Yes,
don't worry, I already got it mapped out. So, give the people where they can support you, where they can follow you. And give your closing remarks on tonight's episode before we give the floor to the Godfather.
Yes, I heard that with Marisa. Tigney podcast will be back in the fall. I cannot wait for everybody to join me then. It'll be available on YouTube as well as other platforms on Apple and Google and Spotify. I am on Instagram. I am on TikTok. I am on Facebook. I am on X. You can find me there. I do a lot of reels, do a lot of shorts. I talk about sports and other things of that nature. And this was a good time. This was a blast. I appreciate the invite. And as always, I have a good time here with y'all. So thank you so much. I will be hitting the road next month, going to my very first training camp with the Detroit Lions. So heard that we'll be going back on the road. So I'm looking forward to that as other adventures come through. Definitely will be sharing it with the audience that follows me. So I appreciate the support. And again, thank you so much, Bryant and Monty, for the invite on your show. I love that y'all are doing big things here on this platform and what you do. We have a lot of fun, but we also talk about the things that are happening out here in the world of entertainment and sports. And y'all are taking it and crushing it, and appreciate the opportunity again. So thank you.
You don't need no invitation. You're welcome anytime. But don't think Bryant. You thank me. I myself made it happen. Bryant is just a part of the platform. Just understand that. I'm joking. Now, if you didn't know from our previous project, I should say, or show, we used to do on Instagram on Wednesdays, 9:00 Eastern time, was Gentleman's Corner Live. Of course, we all had our own role in it, me being the youngest of the 3 or 4, including Ren, that would handle all the behind-the-scenes stuff for us. But Mcclain, each and every episode had his own closing. Now, it would be very disrespectful if I didn't honor that, to give him that same floor, that same opportunity that he had on Gentleman's Corner Live here on the Rewind. So, Mcclain, closing remarks, floor is yours, the Godfather.
Well, let me say this. Again, I do appreciate the invite. Definitely looking forward to coming back, on this platform, sharing this with you and Bryant. Man, I'm proud of you guys. Continue doing what you do. Keep pushing forward, and may God bless the rise of your platform. But and not to be too long, because we have definitely been over our time. I always let y'all know when we go over time, but no, I'm just joking. But just a little light, and remember, every time I give a little closing, and I give this to share for others, but it's something for me, and it just helps me, every time that I always share out. But I just want to say this, time is definitely precious. So stand on purpose, rely on faith, and let your destiny be your reality, And so that just kind of helps and gets you through the day. And if you always get stumbled on something, just think about it, just stand on your purpose and what you really want so it can become your reality.
Stand on your purpose.
Like that.
So
stand on your purpose.
What you want.
That.
Yeah. Stand on your purpose so you can become what you want. Bryant, episode 28, closing remarks. Give it to us.
This was a fantastic show. I appreciate Mcclain and John and Marisa coming on the show. I hope I entertained you guys of my little craziness and little outbursts. Most of it I really meant. But however, one day I hope that I get an invite on Mcclain and John's show, and with Monty, I could come in there and be the fifth person that come in there and do my thing on y'all show, and hopefully not embarrass you guys, because I can, me, I come off top with some crazy stuff, but then I can get serious too, as you guys saw. So that'll be cool. And Mcclain, we'll talk here soon about the future endeavors. But I had a great time, and this was fantastic, and everybody sharing their stories. And absolutely, and we go get Mcclain more acclimated into the sports and
entertainment piece
and entertainment. We also, to close it out, we're going to be more on the entertainment side as well. Our artists, we got to bring him on. We're going to get D Nice on here eventually. Once he gets freed and bring on the music side of the whole thing, and open up that gate. I got to make some contacts with my past music guys and bridge the gap there. But all in all, man, episode 28 episodes. I didn't think that I would wind up doing 28 episodes. I missed one. But I didn't think it would be something that I enjoyed, but I truly did enjoy this because it gave me an outlet to voice my opinions. And I surely appreciate with everyone that's listening. And, we're going to do one last episode next week. And we're going to end it off. And, you got to give us, my voice and everybody else's voice, a break. But it's going to be a short break. That's a long weekend. And we'll be back at it full throttle and going to some football games and with Temple and UPenn and some other games that we wind up attending. And we definitely go to get to that Michigan game this year in November when they play against Ohio State. That's for sure. Because I got pissed off last year. Oh
man, all glory to God, all grace to the good Lord. If you haven't, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel at @TheRewind_GSC3, as well as follow us on all platforms at @TheRewind_GSC3. Want to give a special thank you to my Canadian brother and Ohio State Buckeye, Chris, in 1990 Studios, for what they do each and every week with the work they help to build this platform, to build this brand. Without them, this idea, this passion of mine, this dream, or whatever, this road I'm on to climb the top of that mountain wouldn't have happened. So definitely shout out to him. Shout out to our guy, Pat, who holds it down with the graphics and everything that we need taken care of as far as anything graphic related for the Rewind each and every week. But it's been fun. John, of course, won't sign off with us, so he will be with us in spirit.
Absolutely.
So from Marisa Tigney to Rekia Mcclain to John Copeland to my co-host Brian Garvin, Monty Moss signing off. Episode 28. We'll see you guys one more time next week. Episode 29 from Bryant's house. And to all the married men out there, don't be at no Coldplay concert screwing around. And most importantly, don't be screwing around with anybody in a workplace, because it ain't accepted. Episode 28. We'll see you guys next week.
Absolutely.
And as I always say,
Jergens.
Pray for Bryant. Thank you.
go.
I was checking out the scouting report, and I don't see nothing but bums. You and your whole entire world know that I am the one. You and your squad ain't got nothing for me. Your organization is looking stressed, and now that you haters is running from me, I know that you see that I'm highly blessed.
Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. Yeah, we live with your boy Coach G. Yeah, we live with your boy Monty.
You and your squad ain't got nothing for me. Your organization is looking stressed, and now that you haters is running from me, I know that you see that I'm